You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
We outside. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Tap In. We are OneOOne. I'm your host, Andy Danchik, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Sean and James, and my business partners. What's going on, boys? How you doing today?
What up?
We outside. We outside.
Y'all are crazy today.
Yo, crazy. We got the energy. No, I'm just feeling giggly, and I don't know why I heard
It's
that
a fucking
We
deep
literally
breath from the sun
outside.
right
We're
now.
recording outside, so it feels good, bro. I'm getting my D. I'm getting filled up with a hella
He's getting
D.
a hella D right now.
Hella D. But it is your responsibility to tap into information that's going to benefit you and your life. This podcast will hopefully expand your thinking so that you can finally take control. Let's go. All right, guys. Today we got a good one for you. Today we are going to talk to you about, are you a prisoner of your own environment? So, do I want to go off yet? Nah. All right, Sean, take it over.
Let's ease into it.
I'm just going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask Sean, and then I'm going to ask James. What do you get out of me asking you that question? Are you a prisoner of your own environment?
So what I get out of that is what you're asking me is, am I allowing my environment to affect me? So what my situation is, where I'm living, who I'm around, who I'm working with day to day, who I associate with outside of work, outside of home.
Outside.
We outside. Am I allowing those things to affect me, as in, am I allowing them to dictate what decisions I make? So is something at home, like the morals, the standards, whatever they may be, the thought processing at home, am I allowing that to weigh on me so that I start making decisions because it's something that my parents might think is the right decision, even though I don't agree with it, or I deep down.
Are you making decisions for you, or are you making decisions based off of what other people think is best for you?
Exactly, and that, like right now, I live with my brothers and my parents, so that's four people right there that they do share a very similar outlook on life and how things should be handled. Like we all have our differences for sure, but there's many things, and like I've told this before to a lot of people, that the reason I am the way I am is because I watched the people in my life do things that I didn't like. So there's a lot of aspects of my life that I've actually changed because I saw people do shit that I didn't like, whether it be like...
But that's how you're supposed to be.
And exactly, you can take... And I feel like that's not the way it usually is. I feel like usually you become what you're surrounded with. So
that's the question.
And I definitely get both. There's some aspects that I pick up that I'll catch myself like, yo, you see your dad do this, your mom do this,
and
whatever. You don't
it.
like it, but why are you doing it? Because I am not consciously thinking about like, hey, be on top of this.
You're a prisoner of your environment.
Yeah, you're around this, so it's easiest for you, or easier for you to pick up on that bad habit because you're constantly around it. So if you're not on top of that thought process, on top of those actions and allowing it to take over, then it's going to take over because, like I said, as you're saying with this topic, you're in prison. Are you a prisoner of your own environment? So are you consciously making the decision not to do the things that you see that you don't like? Are you just going about it, not thinking about it, and then all of a sudden a year down the road, you're like, holy fuck, I've been doing this for a year just because I watched these people do it.
Why do you do what you do?
Exactly.
James.
Who?
Jameth.
We outside.
We outside.
No, we really are outside. It's beautiful. So, to me,
Brooklyn.
I literally take the same thing Sean does. Like, are you a prisoner of your environment? Are you letting the things in your environment influence you to make decisions that you wouldn't normally make, or do things that you wouldn't do, like who you naturally are? Are you following like a status quo, or are you following something that everyone's doing or society's doing, or doing things because you do a certain job, or you were brought up a certain way, or just things like that? And like same with Sean, there's two ways that you do things. You either don't do them because when you see them you didn't like them, or you do them because you saw them happening and it happened often, so it was something that you picked up on and you do as well. And like those are the things to me that are more like, are you a prisoner of your environment? Because if you're just doing things because you've seen it be done and you're doing it, and I like the question, like, why do you do what you do? Because it comes down to that exact point. Like, why do you do what you do? Question everything. Why does your mom make the sauce your mom makes? The pasta sauce. Because her mom made it that way. Because her mom made it that way. Because her mom made it that way. And it's like, why do you do it that way? What, like, it doesn't make it bad, but it just question the things you do, because that's how your brain works. It picks up on things and it repeats things, and then you're doing things subconsciously without your conscious even knowing it, and you might not even like that shit, but you're just fucking doing it because it was so repetitive. Yes. So now you're at a point where, why do you do what you do? And you question every little thing. So for me, is riding bikes. Why do I do what I do? I ride bikes because I was riding my bike entire time of my childhood, back and forth to school. I really enjoyed it. Then I found the skate park, and that really enhanced the bike BMX like experience, and I liked it. And then there were other people involved that more enhanced that for me. Other than that, like, why do I do what I do? Like, I don't really cook that much, so I mean, no one really cooked that much for me, so I guess that's probably why I enjoy cooking. I want to do it more often, so that's something that I'm going to take more control over and not let the product of my environment or the prisoner of my environment control and say, like, oh, I can't cook. I've never cooked. Like, I'll just look shit up and learn. It might taste like shit once or twice, but whatever. Yeah. But, like, that's what it comes down to. So, like, family pastimes or holidays, like Thanksgiving, we celebrate things because people celebrate them, because people celebrate them because of a reason. So, like, why do you do what you do? What's your reason? And don't be influenced by things you don't like or might not necessarily like even if someone else doesn't think it's cool. Like, oh, I don't like this. Like, why don't you like it? I mean, this is cool. But like, I don't like it. Like, what do you mean you don't like it? Like, don't let that kind of prison or society steer you from actually being who you truly are. And like, I think that's all too common in today's society, where if somebody doesn't like something or likes something, which is more common than not, they're afraid to show that because it might not be the cool thing, or someone else, their friends might not like it.
It's like not being a part of the norm. It's like fathers who cook. It's not in where we come from, urban suburb society, where most people have mother and father figures around in the house. Mom cooks, she cleans, she does this. Right. Everyone thinks the same fucking way, and dad goes to work, he does this, and he has his responsibilities. And then when you see it the flip side, mom's mowing the lawn, mom's taking care of the trash, mom's taking care of the recycling, dad's cooking, dad's dropping the kids off at school. Everybody thinks some crazy shit about it, but if it works for you, it fucking works for you, and there's nothing fucking wrong with it. So are you gonna allow your life to be defined based upon how the past lives of others were lived, or are you going to define your life the way you want to define your life for yourself?
And I think that's important, because it's like, for me, I say this all the time, there's no fucking rule book. There's no fucking rule book to this life. There's good and there's bad. There's a moral standard. There's something inside of you that tells you if that was bad or if that was right or wrong, but or whatever.
Quick, what's good for you might not be good for me, and what's bad for you might not be bad for me too.
Exactly.
So then there's really no fucking rule book.
There's extremely no rule book.
Good and bad, really.
It's like, it's your own moral code, and it's like, all right, that was good, or all right, that was bad, and I feel a type of way about it, or he feels a type of way about it as well. I apologize. I won't happen again.
And the only reason you or I feel a type of way is based upon our past experiences, our environment. So are you a prisoner of your environment is a true question that James is understanding, so that he can say, the only reason I think this is bad is because all these motherfuckers told me it's bad. Why do I think it's bad? And then he goes deeper.
Right, and for me, that's when like I said, for your moral code, like, that's how I determine, for me, what's for me. So my moral code says it's good or bad, that's what I'm doing. If it feels bad, I'm not doing it. If I don't want it done to me, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you hear that shit all the time, but I feel like no one practices it. But what it comes down to is what feels good for you, what your moral code is. That's your success. That is your environment. That is what you know what I mean? So if it feels bad for you. Follow that, trust it. Right. That's your right. If it feels good for you. Follow that, trust it, and don't let anyone else's belief on success or what feels right or wrong make what you feel good feel bad, or what you feel bad make it try and feel good, because it's not like who you truly are, who you truly supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's cool, like, if you talk about the explanation that you just gave, like, say you see someone that their mom is mowing the lawn and the dad's cleaning dishes and cooking dinner, like, the way our society, maybe not as much today, but still, like,
it's getting lesser and lesser.
It's getting lesser and lesser because the whole feminist movement,
the thought
and all
process
this bullshit.
is
so
changing.
now, dude, now being a man's fucking gay and vice versa. If you're too much of a masculine man, now you're an issue for some reason. But we're not gonna get into that.
Whatever.
We're gonna get into like the old school thinking. Like old school thinking, if you saw a wife mowing a lawn and the dad's cooking dinner, cleaning dishes, people might be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this man? This man can't keep it down at home. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Is he a little feminine bitch?" Like, that's where back in the day society's thought processes went. But really, like, who are you to tell that person? Like, what if the dad really enjoys cooking and the mom really enjoys her free time where she gets to clear her head while she mows the lawn? So who the fuck are you to say
exactly
that's
man's work, that's woman's work?
Like, yeah, why is she being the man in a relationship? Like, no, like, they just understand each other where she needs her time to get away, and that's being on the lawnmower. Because, dude, I know when I mow the lawn, I fucking love it because it allows me to just kind of cruise, listen to music, clear my head, listen to podcasts, whatever. So, like, a girl can enjoy the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And the man might just really fucking love cooking. So, like, that's something that definitely that's changing now just because of where society's going. But prior to this new fucking this new movement, it was so frowned upon for a man to do certain things just because it didn't fit the society role, which is bullshit. Because right there, you're not living the life you want to live just because you're afraid of what people will think, which...
You're a prisoner of your own environment.
And in the end, what does it matter? No matter, like, what Andy thinks about me, what James thinks about me, what some random-ass person in the street thinks about me, it isn't going to affect me unless I allow it to. So if I want to do fucking cooking instead of mowing the lawn, and that's what makes me happy, as long as someone else wants to mow the lawn, I'm going to cook the fucking shit out of whatever I'm cooking. And I'm going to be happy about it. But if I allow my thoughts to go like, oh, what if these people think a certain way about me because this is what society thinks,
then you're a prisoner of your own environment,
then I'm
and that shit don't serve you.
Yeah, so as long as you don't allow what people think to affect you, there is no affecting you. It's only going to fucking affect them because they're wasting their negative thoughts on something they shouldn't, not even their negative thoughts. They're just wasting their thoughts that could be more productive and more in a positive mindset to help them grow. They're wasting it on fucking thinking negatively about some stupid ass situation that doesn't even serve them.
And while you're sitting here talking, it's funny to me, like, thinking about product of your environment. One of the topics I was thinking about was like your job. Mm-hmm. And I've had so many different jobs and I've literally loved them all. And now that I sit back and think about it, a lot of them were monotonous, and I think that's why. Like, landscaping, like you're mowing perfect lines, and it's like people are like, oh, I'm just here
mastering the monotonous.
Right? Yeah, you're like, but the thing, it's like I don't like when you're in that environment. There's people around you that are like, oh, we're just here to get a job done. We're just here to make money. But in my head, every time I was doing it, it was like, damn, like that line was nice. Like get the next line nice and like make the yard. Like it was always more to what I was doing. And sitting here realizing it now, than just going to work for me, even though it was just a job. Like I was always like, oh, I need to find a job. Found a job, and then, you know, when I moved from that one to another one, it was always finding a job. But even onto power washing and window cleaning, like I was always fucking ecstatic. Like when the window came out like perfectly clear, like there's just something about really clean glass. But it's like some people don't give a fuck. Like, why do you care about cleaning windows? Like we're just here to make money. Like that's the environment I was in, but I was choosing not to look at it like that. Like I was choosing like, all right, we're at work. I'm having a good ass time. Like I'm with the people I work with. These, you better getting the best clean glass you ever got. Like blah, blah, blah. Same with decks, like washing decks, washing the stain off of them. Like you have to go one board at a time, all the way over, all the way back. Like, So like you watch the stain come off and where it's clean and where it's not, and it's like you feel good like getting it nice and shit. And some people are like, oh, you care that you did a good job? Like, yeah, I fucking care I did a good job. Just because you don't care about your environment and that's how you were taught to be doesn't mean I'm gonna be like that. Like, I fucking care. This was fun. It looks good. And then when it comes down to it, like, your buddy's like, hey, you want to help me wash the deck? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll wash that motherfucker now, or he'll be out of there fucking staining and everything one day. Be like, really? Like, hell yeah, I'll clean your windows too and take care of the gutters. Like, I'll be done in fucking 2 hours. You'd be like, what the fuck? Because, like, I was doing it so much. I loved it so much. Yeah. Even though the people in my environment weren't the way they're supposed to be, I was enjoying it and mastering all that little shit. So now I enjoy it all the time. Yeah. It's just really weird.
But what's crazy about that, talking about our topic, is what if you allowed yourself to be a prisoner of your environment? So if you went into whatever job you chose where you have that passion to do shit perfectly and to get better at it, and then you constantly have people you're working with, or worse is when like the person above you is like this, where they're just like, dude, we're just here to get a job done. Like, you're taking too much time doing this. Like, why are you worried about if that fucking line is perfectly straight? Why are you worried if you're power washing in perfectly straight lines? Like, it doesn't matter. We're just here to get it clean and get the fuck out of here. If you don't check yourself and be like, yo, I want to be better at this, then you're going to start doing those lazy habits where you'll start downgrading your own jobs, like your own standards of your work, because you are around people that don't give a fuck. They're just there to get a job done. That's all they care. So that's going to hold you back in life, because whether people believe it or not, your quality of work, your work ethic will carry you far. Like, it might not pay off in the first year, it might not pay off in the 2 years, but if you stay steady on it, someone's going to pick up on the fact that you're doing a job way better than everyone else is, and you're very passionate about it, and you care about what your fucking quality is.
That just goes to mastering the monotonous leads to success.
Well, exactly, but
it's the little things that truly add up that lead to the most successes. So doing those lines perfect, continuing to do it that way, and not ever settling for any less pushes you forward so much faster than taking a little cheat here, cheat there. All right, it's good enough. Keep moving.
Because the cheat's almost like, do you have control? When like life, when your environment pushes against you and puts you in a position where your mental might not be right or your thought processing might not be right, does it affect the quality of your work and your moral standard with what you're doing? Like, so taking those little cheats, like if that day you took that little cheat, like, did you have control over yourself, or did your environment have control? And that comes down to everything we're talking about for like, why'd you cheat? Why do you do what you do? It comes like full circle.
It all is connected. It's all this shit forever.
Yeah. And that comes down to like being disciplined yourself too, because right there you have the option to cheat. So like, if you're working, banging shit out, and like it's time to clean up, and you want to clean up every little thing because you know it looks better, but everyone at work, even your boss or your foreman for that day, whatever, is all chilling, they're like ready to leave and shit like that, or they're chilling, taking a break, and they're not worried about picking up every little detail to make sure that the place is left better than when you came. You might start doing that, like, all right, like everyone else is chilling today, I'm gonna just chill, like I don't need to go OD with this like I usually do, and then all of a sudden it'll happen again because you allowed yourself to do it once, and then it becomes a habit where you start doing it every time. So now, like I said, your quality of work has downgraded. So there's no way that serves you at all. You just allowed yourself to be lazy, and you built a bad habit.
And it's tough.
So
and
that's
that one time.
It's that one time. That's discipline is so important in every aspect of your life, because you can't allow yourself to start doing the easy shit. Everything in life comes from struggle. Like the harder something is to do, the more bad you should want it. You should be going after. You should be more excited about it. Like, fuck, this is gonna be super fucking difficult, but I know once I get this done,
it'll be that much more worth it.
It's gonna be that much more worth it. It's gonna have me that much more further than where I am right now, and you're just gonna continually move up and up and up and up and up, and that's literally the key to life. Is like, you want to be progressing every step, like throughout your whole life. You do not want to be going backwards, because then you're not going to feel...
Not even necessarily going backwards. You just don't want to be stagnant.
Exactly. Well, dude, if you're stagnant, you're moving backwards, because what are you doing? If you're stagnant, life, your competitors, other people
continue going forward, so
going
technically
forward.
you're moving backwards.
Your ass is moving backwards. If you're not moving forward,
you're losing ground. Yeah.
So...
It's tough. It is. It's probably one of the hardest things to truly grasp the concept of, because you're so used to your environment in a sense, in so many ways, that you've just accepted it for what it is, because that's the normal thing to do necessarily, or it's the easier thing to do, or it's the more comfortable thing to do. But it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to accept anything that you don't want to. You have the right to write your own rule book, your own laws, your own facts, your own rights, your own wrongs, like whatever it may be, however you may want to view it, think you want to view it, try it. And even if you do it wrong, like, all right, I'm going to change this because I think it'll better me, you may be fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And you're going to change it again, and you're going to change it again, and you're going to change it again, and change it again. You're going to continue. You're like consistently, just like if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. If you're not writing new rules, then you're just living the same life.
Yeah, that's when you become stagnant.
Continue to write new rules, because life is continually evolving. So must you, so must your rules, so must your facts, so must your viewpoints, so much like one year you might be a fucking conservative right-wing political viewer, and then the next year you might be total left-wing political viewer. There's nothing wrong with that, but people think that they have to lock into something and be there for life. Why is that? It makes no sense.
There's nothing wrong with that if that's truly like your decision. Like,
but that's what I'm
it's
saying.
when it becomes wrong is when you see the majority switch sides, and you're like, oh, I got to switch sides because this is what everyone's doing.
That's like almost the bandwagon effect with sports.
So we're not saying like it's okay to bandwagon, but like have a reason for why you're changing shit. So if you're fucking in this explanation, like if you're a right wing person and you're switching to the left side, like know your reasoning why, understand why you're doing it. Don't just do it because that's a trend.
The masses are doing it, or because the people around you in your environment are explaining to you, like maybe their environment changed and the reason their facts changed is for a reason, but you don't have to buy into that, or maybe you do buy into that. Or maybe they have no reason and they just
switch because of bandwagoning. Like they might not have a reason, so that's why we talked earlier about, or James was touching on, to question everything.
Yeah.
And one thing I did want to touch on questioning everything is like, question everything, but don't question to change, question to grow. So don't like be questioning things like, okay, because I need to change.
And then don't make a decision and question it right away.
Yeah.
Like, should I have made that decision? Because then you're just going to question everything in life, and then you're
end up going to be a standstill because you're never going to know the right decision to make.
Question everything.
But if you question to grow, so question why you're doing something, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need to change it. You just question it so you understand why you're doing it. And you will find ways, if there are ways, if you're continuously questioning different things you're doing, you will, if there wasn't something to change here, you might come back to it in a month and you might question it again and be like, oh wait, I could do it this way and this will provide a better outcome now. So don't question just solely just because like, oh, I need to change. No, you might be doing it right now that serves you the best way. But
you don't know that.
You don't know that, but you question to grow. So this way, if something comes in line when you're questioning it, like, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I still doing this 12 months down the road? Is there something I could do better? There might be, there might not be. So if there isn't, you stay the same. You keep growing in that way that you are.
You just kind of, and yes, you have the right to say, I'm changing it because it feels right to change it. And that could be your only reason why at the moment. And then the why will become more clear once you truly understand the change that have happened just by doing it because you felt like you were supposed to do it. So your why might not show up until months after the change, and then you understand it in a different light. And that's just the way it comes sometimes. So question it to an extent, but don't over question it so that it restricts you. There is like a lot of times you might have heard us in the past say like sometimes there's not a balance. There is a balance. There's always going to be some sort of balance. There needs to be a balance for all energy, for things to match, for like to attract like, for a certain amount of neutrons and electrons, for everything, atoms, all the structure of science, everything in life, there's some form of balance, or you get restriction, you get pain, you get all this bad stuff coming from it if there's no balance. So you'll understand it because it's just right for you, and you know when you're balanced and you know when you're not balanced. and no one can explain that to you other than yourself.
And
so it's
I think more also like questioning everything is to understand, because without even looking at it or questioning it or like what you don't, like I said, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. I don't say question it like Sean has a good point. I don't say question it and that you need to change. Just as a person, like, you know,
question it to understand it.
Yeah, question it to understand it. But like as a
Not change
person,
you.
you know, like what's good, you know, for you. You naturally, like, you just do things like this is good, this is good. It's when it's a struggle or where something feels off that you're like, like that's when you start to look at things and like question them. But I just say that to understand yourself better, to understand your life better, to understand your family better, to understand where you came from and why you do what you do, question everything, yes, but like they said, not necessarily to change it, but just to understand.
Yeah.
And understanding is an extreme key in progressing yourself and moving forward into the places that you want to be, or the environments you want to be, the people you want to be around.
Everything.
And like that, and questioning everything and understanding it is like a very excellent habit of just figuring out what it is you like, what it is you don't like.
And it's the only thing that's truly going to push you forward.
Right. And how you going to know
and keep you
unless
motivated.
you question it? And I think people like naturally question things, but they overcomplicate the questioning. Like if something's difficult or it's hard or it made you feel a certain way, question it real quick. Look at it. Why did I feel this way? What happened? Should I feel that way? Should I not feel that way? Was that his intentions? Was that not? Like, just fucking run it back real quick so you understand, like, all right, maybe I was overreacting and this is for me. Or maybe I wasn't overreacting and he really was an asshole, like, and I don't think I want to be around him, or whatever the case may be. But it's like sometimes you can trick yourself and be like, oh, like your emotions can like trick you, be like, oh, what the fuck, like, and then you have to think about it for a second and like, all right, okay, this happened, all right, maybe I overreacted a little bit, maybe I thought about it wrong for a second, like, okay, but people don't do that. They just like,
well, no, I think it comes down to we need to find a way to help people understand the difference between overthinking and thinking properly. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of people to grasp, I think, because until you truly start to practice these methods which we're trying to teach you in a sense or show you is possible for you to do, you still don't understand the concept of like allowing feelings to guide you in a sense, but allowing your consciousness to be programmed correctly the way you want it to be, so that your feelings are then correct to know if you're overthinking based upon this feels good and it's pushing me forward, or this doesn't feel good and I know it's restricting me. But it takes a lot of work and a lot of groundwork in a lot of other areas to truly master the techniques that we're that we're talking about with this question, that come about with this question. Because you get to a point where you question things so much that you're over questioning. So in a sense, you're overthinking. So you don't want to put yourself in that state. But once you truly understand who you are and why you do what you do, and why some things work for you and why you're okay for some things working for you, you start to understand how to question things properly, which will then help you to think of the questions properly when they truly matter or not, rather than over questioning.
You guys can tell me if you agree, but I think a lot of it has to come down to being able to self-evaluate. And like, that's easier said than done, because what you guys are talking
Exactly.
what you guys are talking about is when you overthink things, at least I'm going to say this is like coming from my own experience, but I feel like it's pretty much when you're overthinking something, it's because you are not confident in whatever you're overthinking. You are inferior thoughts about something. You're thinking negatively about something. So it's some sort of emotion that's leading into you overthinking it, because you have an emotion set point of whatever that event may be that's causing you to have these rapid thoughts. And all you're thinking is, most of the time, overthinking is the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst. So there's some sort of negative.
This could happen.
Exactly. There's some sort of negative emotion, negative thought process going into that. So now if you could take a step back and self-evaluate and be like, okay, if it's something that's making me mad, all right, say Andy did something that pissed me off, me and him are getting into it, and I might be super mad there and just keep going because it's something that's angry, and that's my emotion is anger, and now my mind just going off of soul fucking thoughts of anger and why I'm angry. If I could take a step back and be like, okay, why are we really doing this? What was the issue that caused this? If I could sit back and self-evaluate that and self-evaluate why I'm even feeling angry, I can most of the time come down to the root issue and be like, dude, why are we even doing this? This was the issue. This is what we just got to solve right here. And that's what you have to do with every aspect. Whether you're with a girl and you're overthinking something because she likes to go out with her friends and stuff like that.
But it's probably because it's based off of this question: are you a prisoner of your own environment? Based upon your past, you're now overthinking situations because of
like maybe a girl cheated on me. But that's what I'm saying. That's an inferior thought that you're having.
So then that means you're a prisoner of your environment.
Exactly. So that's why you got to self-evaluate this and be like, yo, this girl went out before, like, she's been doing this. Like, this is what her and friends go do. I knew this getting into it, and she's been loyal to me. She showed me no reason.
Deep down, you want her to be able to do that.
Yeah, you want to be that confident man that's like, yo, girl, go have fun.
Do whatever she wants.
Go have fun, because I know there ain't no man that's going to be better for you than me.
Exactly.
Like, that comes down to you being confident, and that's why you
being confident.
Exactly, and that's why you got to have that conversation with yourself. You got to be able to sit back and tear this emotion, these questions, these thoughts apart. Find the root, and then from there, then you start problem solving.
Which we've talked about this, and almost
Of
course, it's gonna come back to these basic concepts because that's all it is. It's all basics.
No matter how deep we get into a certain topic,
always circles back.
There's always a basic point that we need to grasp. We need to practice. Even, I mean, I know we're all getting better, but I still struggle with it fucking hard, a lot of this shit. Like, I've been allowing my mind, like, it's been hard for me to control my mind. Like, I got on top of my mind for a while, and now for a while, I've been battling it, and, like, I just haven't been controlling it.
But that's good.
I'm like, dude, like, you're better than this. It's going to be fucking hard, and you're not going to get this the first time. It's going to take you months of, like, really staying on top of your thoughts so you start really getting better.
It just means you're continuing to make progress.
Yeah. But it all goes back, like, it doesn't matter what aspect. If I grow in my life, it's still going to come back to me being able to stay on top of my thoughts no matter where I am at life, because I can fucking be, in 5 years, I could be a millionaire. But if I start allowing myself to go back towards not using the basics and start allowing my mind to wonder, because it doesn't matter if I fucking have $1, 1 million, my mind can still wander as much as it wants, and it can still bring in the same negative thoughts no matter how much money I have, no matter what relationships I have, no matter what.
Yeah.
So I can lose everything I gain in these next 5 years by simply not going back to the basics and staying on top of my thoughts.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are in life, that's why we bring them up so much, and that's why almost every topic we talk about, we come back to the basics, because literally they are the most important aspect. Once you master these, which I don't think there's ever really mastering, there's continually getting better and better and better and better. There's no, like, set point where you're like, oh, I got this down. No, you're always going to be growing. You're always going to find new ways of being better at the basics.
You're continuing to try to master.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're striving for perfection.
You're striving for perfection.
Hoping that one day you can be there, knowing that you'll probably never get there.
You're striving for perfection, but your goals are to just be better.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah.
So you're still reaching goals, but your
consistently
fucking bar
moving
is just
forward.
getting raised every time you hit a goal.
Consistently
it's like, okay, I got
forward.
here. Fucking, this is awesome. I'm
just
pat on the back.
Just like this morning. What did we do? We learned a new software that's going to push us forward with all our books for business and accounting and running all our own stuff. And it was something that in the beginning I remember we had a conversation like a couple months into this venture, and we were talking money and shit like that. And we were like, holy shit, we were like so blown away at the fact that we could ever be there one day. And now what? Another 6 short months later, 9 short months later, here we are having official balance sheets and
money in, money out, like
we're seeing everything, we're tracking everything, we're on top of our stuff, we're continuing to learn, and it's just another piece of the puzzle that at the time, months ago, when we weren't even ready for it, we had no clue how the fuck we were gonna get there, and
now we're here. So it's just that
And
continuing.
what's cool about today too is the fact that we started off as like, okay, this is just for the business, but then we left
It
here
turned
today
into
as
using it
it's
for our
helping
personal,
our
yeah.
personal lives, our personal ventures that aren't tied into us three as a whole.
Because your personal life should be run as a business.
Yeah, literally, dude, it should
Or
be.
or else you're fucking running it as fucking pure enjoyment. I guarantee you're in the negatives every single fucking
Dude.
month. And if your personal bank account's in the negatives every single fucking month, well, that's why you're broke, motherfucker.
That's why you're bro. And putting it all onto this
It's facts though.
yeah.
Yo, that's fucking straight facts.
That's what I
wild.
mean. It's just constant growth and fucking having
And
an open
that's why
mind.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Every category of life, like my business category of life, by growing in business, I grow personally.
Yeah. Dude, we've talked about it.
It's
We've
insane.
talked about it with fucking training before.
It's
when
so
we push
sick.
ourselves training, we push ourselves in our work environment. When we push
Yeah.
ourselves in our work environment, all of a sudden we're pushing ourselves in our personal environment because now we
And
have more
it's just
finances.
clicking,
And
firing.
And
It's
now
beautiful, bro.
exactly. Now we have a business where we got to learn all these new things that fucking 6 months ago, as you said, we were stressed as fuck about because we were like, dude, this is big. Like, how are we going to learn
That
this?
stuff was so, like a fucking
Dude,
galaxies
think
away.
about
It
that,
felt
dude. You
like.
used to, when we 6 months ago, we'd sit there and be like, dude, like this is a lot. Like,
How are we gonna do this?
How are we
What are
gonna
we gonna
this?
do about this?
Like,
What the heck?
Our
And now
minds
it
felt
just-
foggy, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like a fog. You're looking into this cloud that you don't even fucking know what you're looking at. You see QuickBooks, and you're like,
Overthinking
what the fuck is
everything, yeah.
QuickBooks? And now we're here, like, yo, this is simple, and this is literally gonna
And it was
benefit me
great,
in
bro.
every aspect of my life. And
Yeah.
we came out of the meeting feeling good as shit because we're like, holy shit,
We
this is
sat for
this
down
is
for
an-
2 hours and we fucking ran through all the shit, did it over
Yeah.
and over and over, and fucking.
And this is something that, dude, without these experiences that we've had since we've come together, we probably never would have reached here and found this. So
Yeah.
it's
It's just that consistent progress that it's beautiful. It really is. It's just fun. It's just fun. We continue to learn more, do more, find new ways. Like, and we've done. And the funny thing is, look back. Like, how many things have we done wrong already in the past? Probably a fucking lot.
oh yeah.
Probably a fucking. There's tons of shit that we thought we were supposed to be doing in the beginning. We're doing none of that.
Dude, literally
we're doing
none of
fucking
it. We've
none of
changed
that
it all
shit,
up.
bro. It's just like every day I'm like, oh, all
Notable.
right, this is changing. All right, and dude, all three of us just kind of like, all right, let's do it, let's do it,
yeah.
let's do it, bro. But it keeps fucking getting us that much closer,
Yeah.
that much closer, that much closer, that
Well,
much
dude,
closer.
there's our product right there. We're tying it right back into our topic. Is in the beginning of this, we researched, we learned, we thought we had to run this a certain way, and then
Based
we
upon
ran
our-
into a wall where we all felt a certain way about something because we started doing it a little bit differently, and we all didn't know how to think about it. We broke through that wall, and then it just continually happens. And as we grow, we're like, okay, this serves us more. How we run our
fucking
business is
cool.
not how anyone else has. We might run it different than anyone in the fucking world, but if it works for us, it works
it
for
works
us.
for us.
That's all that
But
matters.
that's how it's gonna be.
And yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be.
No
There
one
is
can
no
give
rules.
you. Yeah, no one can give you an exact recipe.
No. There is no recipe
Necessarily.
for success. There's no recipe how to live your best life. You only know how to do it through your thoughts, your feelings, what sits well with yourself.
Yeah,
Trying
there's
to
certain key basic and points that you can use
You can learn lessons from
to
people and
learn
shit.
what you need to learn for yourself to create your recipe. But
It's like a standard. It's like a starting point. Okay, this is what this person does. This is what this person does. Okay, this is kind of where I see that basic line start. Now let me start there and see where the fuck I take it.
yeah,
Simple.
it's fucking cool.
Awesome.
It's really cool. So
Is that for Robert?
don't be a prisoner of your environment. Take control of your environment. Be who the fuck you want to be, and question every second of it. But question it so that it benefits you. Don't question things just to question things. Question things that don't feel right, or question things that feel right,
And you want to know why?
but question why they feel right so you can define your why, because any man that knows his why can endure any how. It's simple stuff, and there's a ton of great shit for you guys to learn, and we will continue to try to bring you content that makes you think and pushes you forward, because that's all it's about, is getting you to think in different ways that's going to benefit you and getting things to stick so you can continue to write your rule book the way you want to write your rule book, so that your life gives you what you want life to give you. It's simple. Very simple. Don't complicate it. Just question it. And enjoy it. And love it. You know where to find us. You know how to ask us questions. Stop being fucking shy. Step out. Support people that actually fucking help you. Don't support fucking useless celebrities that don't give you anything but entertainment. Because you're brainwashed. Use this shit to your advantage and fucking better your life so you can be the entertainment of others and fucking enjoy doing it.
Yeah. And the more questions you ask us, the more we can get into topics that you guys want to hear about and learn about, and we could just put our input on it.
And you got to understand, by asking us questions, you're tapping into 3 minds. You're not tapping into 1 mind. You are tapping into 3 fucking minds. And when you bring a 4th mind into it, and there's 4 minds talking about the same things, because if you're asking me a question, most likely James and Sean are getting asked that question too before I answer it. And if you're asking Sean a question, I guarantee you we're getting same things. So join our mastermind by asking us a question, and I guarantee you'll feel the power of it, and then you'll want to have your own mastermind. So let's do this, people. Let's all get better together. That's all we can do. Love you.
Love you.
Peace.
James doesn't love
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different, man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro, don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision, but no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction, cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.